Okay, welcome everyone to our Winter Solstice in the Art Studio. I am thrilled to be here with all of you. Thank you for coming. The energy is intense, and I am having such a great time in all these events with you guys over the last couple of weeks. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Janice Gallant of Soulfully Aligned Women. And I have been Soulfully Aligned Women came out of the book I wrote, The Creation Guild. It was published in 2018, and then all of a sudden, this business just grew and grew and exploded. So I'm having a blast. I love what I do. I am an artist. I am a teacher. I'm a creative mystic. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. Can I bring one more in? Because I do have an intention behind this, and it is to introduce you to the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic certification program that is happening on January 11th. It's a 9-month program, and I will tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. But it is also in just like in the recordings that I'm going to send to you tomorrow. The Mystic Conversations was about channeling and how we go deeper into channeling. And then the Mystic Acceleration was a beautiful download, light code downloads meditation. And so you'll get that too. So you're going to get all three, but all three were part of what we do in the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic certification program. So we deep dive into a soul journey. We actually learn how to channel, how to enhance our spiritual gifts, and we paint. So that's what tonight is all about, is the shamanic painting session. So I'm super happy that you're here. And I'm going to just take you through just a little meditation to kind of get us into that sacred space. So I always begin my painting sessions by creating sacred space. And what I mean by that is I set the intention that this is a space that I invite in my divine self, my higher self, my soul, my spirit team of the highest truth and compassion to circle up. And sometimes as you're painting, you get downloads and messages, and you connect to the energy of the painting that we're doing. So tonight we are painting a bear, and this bear image came through for me. Now you can paint whatever bear comes to your mind. If you have found pictures of bears and you're drawn to one, go for it. Or you can follow me, but mine is a little different. So I'll share that with you in a minute, but it just was something that came through quite strongly. So I have drawn it out on my canvas, and that doesn't always happen. Sometimes I paint it as we go, but this time I had to get it out, and I really had to hold myself back to not start painting it without you. So, all right. So, what I'm going to do is have you, light a candle. I have my crystals here. I always have them in my art space. I always have a little bit of smudge and sweetgrass, and the white sage is the smudge, and I cleanse the space and clear energies. And then some sweetgrass to bring in the blessings. My background is very much a shamanic background, although I am not a shaman. I'm not saying I'm a shaman. I have had shamanic training. I spent about 3 years in circle with a beautiful shaman who invited me into her circle way back in 1995 or 96. So I went through a big change in my life at that time, and that was when I truly shifted into my spiritual journey. So I've been doing this for about 30 years. She's the one that taught me, the meditations. She taught me healing techniques. She taught me grounding, and we did all sorts of energy work and shamanic journeys, soul retrievals, and psycho-spiritual development was all part of it. Channeling was all part of it. So I've been doing this for a long time, and just kind of came out in the open when I wrote my book and published it. So came out of the closet. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to unmute and ask, because if you have the question, probably somebody watching does too, or feel free to put it in the chat and I will keep checking that for us. What I'm going to invite you to do right now, though, is to settle in, and I'm going to give you some nice background. Can you guys hear my music at all? No? Okay, good. I'm going to share my screen because I have a nice little quiet music meditation for the meditation. Okay. So for you. All right. How's that for sound? Good. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to have you just settle in here for a minute. Take some long, deep breaths. So breathing in through your nose and letting go through your mouth in a big sigh. At your own pace, long, deep breaths. And just feel yourself settling in and letting go of everything else around you. Letting go of all other worries and thoughts. Just bring yourself in here, right now. You can just take one more long deep breath if you want. And then come back to your normal breathing pattern. Just settle in to your heart. Bringing your full awareness into your heart space, your chest area. Just feel into your body in this area right now. Just notice any sensations as you begin to relax and let yourself sink into that space of stillness. Just lean back into it and let yourself get filled up with peace and calm. It's a busy time of year. There's a lot of chaotic energy swirling around. And we get to just come into this beautiful center in our heart and be here. And see a heart light growing there. See that light in your heart begin to grow and expand as you breathe into it. The size of a baseball and then a soccer ball. And let it keep going, expanding into the size of a beach ball. And just keep growing into that light as you feel into love and gratitude from your heart. Imagine holding a precious pet warmly in your arms. Imagine holding a baby against your heart as it sleeps. Imagine being held in the arms of someone who loves you unconditionally. As you feel feel that love growing in your heart. Let it keep expanding, softening and opening your heart. And breathe into this beautiful light. Allow it to grow so big that you're standing in the middle of this light. And just be in this beautiful heart light. Imagine it all around you. And then bring your awareness right back into the center of your heart. So you are standing in your heart light, this sphere of light with your awareness in your heart. And you're going to send that light down from your heart, down a column of light, down your body, down your legs, through your feet, down into the earth. And just let that channel of light go all the way down to Mother Earth. Imagine her there in her womb space, welcoming you with open arms, the place where her magic begins, where all her love is kept. And she welcomes you in, gives you a warm hug. And as you hug her heart to heart, you can feel her heartbeat, and you begin to slow down to her heartbeat. Your heartbeat and hers syncing up. And she wants to take care of you. She wants to feed you comfort food and wrap you in a blanket and sit you down in front of a sacred fire and cleanse you with sacred water. She is there to nurture you. So bring this love now with so much gratitude. Bring it up, that channel of light. Bring it up into your body. Bring it up all the way up to your heart. Breathe it in and let it spread through your entire body. And this is what she wants to do. She just wants to love on you. So feel that filling you up. Breathe it in. Breathe it into every cell and fiber. And then bring your awareness back to your heart. And you're going to see a channel of light now going from your heart up through your chest and your neck and up through your head, straight up. And as you imagine your gaze going up, there's a beautiful light, a heart light of the universe, the great source, the I am presence. And you are sending your heart light beam up, connecting intentionally with this heart of the universe. And it is immense. It is beyond the words of love. There are no words for this energy, but it is a balance of divine feminine, divine masculine. It is pure, untouched life force energy, and let that flow in. Let that flow down into the top of your head, into your body. Go all the way down that core channel of light, all the way down to the earth, to Mother Earth, grounding you deeper, sending love and light down to Mother Earth. And just feel yourself now filling up with this beautiful, sparkling, shimmering light. You are standing connected, heart to heart to heart, in this column beam of light. You are protected. You are strong. You are in your soul center. This is the place we create from. But before we start, let's connect to the energy of Bear. Imagine Bear coming into the space. You're standing in a beautiful place in nature. And Bear is coming in with big, gentle eyes. Send love and gratitude to the bear. She is getting ready to settle into the dream time. Ask her what you need. What do you need to most serve you to become your highest potential? How can bear energy help you over these winter months? And bear is playful, gentle, and can be so fierce and protective, filled with courage and bravery as needed. But she also brings in healing. She's represented on the medicine wheel from the west, healing waters, nurturing, taking the time to reflect. What is most resonant for you at this time? Just spend 1 minute here with Bear. Feel her energy. Imagine walking up, putting your hand on her fur. One hand on her side, and you can feel her heartbeat. And one hand on her forehead, where she communicates to you. Perhaps even your forehead against hers. Feel her breath. What message is she bringing to you? As you feel that you've received her messages, don't worry, she'll bring you more as you paint. I want you to slowly feel yourself shifting back to this dimension. Feel yourself sitting in your chair with all this energy around you. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. Come on back. Right here with me. All right. You may want to write in your journal if you have one and you were like, oh, I need to write it, or you can write it directly on your canvas, which is a powerful way bringing those messages through. So I'm going to shift my camera now from me to my easel, and I have here to show you a couple paintings that I've done. So the lion was, some of you were with me for our Lion's Gate portal painting. And then today was the I painted giraffe. This was part of the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic group. We've been meeting since September. It's a 9-month program. And so today we did some painting together, and I worked on giraffe here. And the reason I'm showing you is because I'm going to do my bear painting in the same method as I have here. So that bright glowing light, and in the lion too, I'm going to show you how to get that effect. So, and it's something we paint every month in the journey in the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic. So every month we do a painting together, a shamanic painting, and it always is whatever is the topic. So every month we have a different kind of topic that we're working on, a theme, a message. And so whatever energy, and usually it's an animal or an angel, or, you know, people can choose whatever they want, but there's usually one that we paint for the month. So let me just move these. I'm going to show you my bear here. Whoops. Okay. So, something that came in very strongly for me, like the bear was when I was sketching. I will sketch my animals on paper, and then I transfer it onto the canvas a lot of times. So not every time, but a lot of times that's what I do. So and then I go over my pencil with, this is just purple paint, and I just would go over the pencil so that I can see through it. So bear was coming through pretty easy. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is me. I mean, I've been going through a lot this year. I'm sure we all have. It's been a year. And I really feel the need for some healing energy. And so this was coming through, just this woman with her arms wrapped around this big bear. And I just realized my other bear painting is back there too. There he is. I forgot he was back there. So, so this is where I would start. And I will write on my canvas, I am healing, I am held, I am supported, in current present tense. So if you want to write anything, feel free. And I just did a lot of my work in the journal this time. So every time is different. You feel out, you know, what feels right for you. So to start with, though, I do use a lot of glaze. So my gloss glazing liquid is what I'm going to be mixing with some really potent golden liquid paints to start with. And then I do that for this, and then I will go into more heavy body paints as I put layers on. So I will get started here. So I'm going to start with quinacridone red. Quinacridone red, to say, and glaze. And I use these little plastic containers for my glazes. So I also have, sometimes you can, you know, vegetable trays that I saved. And then I wrote the names of the colors on top because I kept forgetting which colors I was using. So I just wrote the names on, and I use this then for my glazing, whatever color. I have a red one here. So I will get this going. And I usually mix it's probably a 3-to-1 with the glaze. So 3 parts glaze to 1 part magenta. And for this painting, I am going to have the light coming from this corner. The lion and the giraffe, well, the lion I had kind of in the middle, but this one's going to come from the corner. So I'm going to glaze magenta all around and kind of leave that area a little bit light for the yellow. So I'm just using a flat brush, about a 1-inch flat brush, and I'm going to paint this on. You won't even see this in the end, but the layers of glaze truly make it glow and rich in the colors. So there's layer upon layer that we'll be adding on. And I will go fairly quickly as I can, but I do need these layers to dry too, so that in the interest of time, and because you'll get the recording. But I just want to get a nice layer on there. I can still see through my painting, which is great. Um, all right. And I'm just going to then take out that's going to move my paintings so I don't splatter on them, because I do that a lot. All right. So when you use the glaze, you want to not use water with it. Glaze is kind of like a replacement for water. So I rinsed my brush a bit, but I want to really dry it off. And I am going to do the same thing with liquid paint and glaze. And then I'm going to use the Nicolazzo yellow, which is, oh, I just love this yellow. It absolutely glows. And I am going to put a bit of white on my canvas first, though, in the corner. Right. So I'm just gonna grab just a tube of basic acrylic white. This one is not transparent. It's just Artist Loft white. I use this a lot in the bottom layers. And then when I'm doing my top highlights and everything, I switch to titanium white, which is, this one is a golden acrylic. It's a heavy body. It's more expensive, right? So I keep it for the top layers and then use these cheaper paints for the bottom. Saves a little bit. So I'm just going to put some white on the canvas here in the corner, because that's where I want the light coming through. And now I'm going to do my nickel yellow glaze. So it's nice to work fairly quickly because then I can get it into my red and blend it easier. So it becomes more like an orange layer. I'm just going to bring that down, that glazing down a little bit into her face and the face of the bear.
Janice, when you're mixing the glaze with the high flow paints, what was the percentage?
About 3 to 1. 3 parts glaze to 1 part paint.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for asking. I was just thinking, I was gonna say, you guys, you can talk, you can to talk. Okay. So there we go. I'm gonna just, and then what I would do is let this dry. Okay. So I'm going to just mute myself and use my hair dryer to speed up the process a little bit. Okay. Okay. So right now I'm just going to kind of do, you look at my lion here. It's very dark around the edges. This looks very like bluey and turquoise, but that will be the top layers that I do. So I'm going to use dioxazine purple and glaze and go around the edges a bit. Dioxazine purple is quite dark, same as the phthalo blue and that. So you might need a little more glaze than 3 to 1, like maybe 4 or 5 to 1. Depends on what you want. But so I'm just going to put a layer of this around the edge, but I'm going to stay away from the yellow area. But what I didn't say was the reason I was painting the giraffe for this certification program group was that in the beginning, we always have a spirit animal we call in through guided meditation. We call in the spirit animal that will walk with us through the 9-month journey. And giraffe came to me, which was very different for me. I've had black panther or jaguar and raven and all sorts of different animals, but I never had giraffe. But it was very clear that giraffe came in, and it came to me in many different ways. And the day that, like, it came to me before I even walked everybody through the meditation, and the day that we did the meditation, then I said, okay, now you have to get clarification, wait for the signs, you'll probably see this animal showing up in various different ways. And giraffe had come through for me a couple times, but that afternoon I went, I had to drop my dad. My dad and his girlfriend were visiting, and I had to drop them off to meet a different ride because they were going to another city. And they decided they would meet us at this coffee restaurant, coffee shop, tea shop. And I'd never been in there. And so we stopped there and decided to go into this little gift shop that was right beside the restaurant, and walked in the back door, and there was a huge, like 6-foot tall giraffe standing right there. It's like, okay, gotcha, giraffe it is. So we each of us has our own spirit animal that will walk with us through journeys, different times of our life, or through our entire life. And always nice to get that confirmation. Okay. Okay, so now I am gonna let that dry before I add any more layers, and I'm just gonna use my purple and do three tones of purple. So a dark, a medium, and a light. And I'm going to use that to block in my bear in all his colors. And maybe parts of her. I'm not sure yet. Have to figure that out. So this is where I will use, find my purple. I will use heavier body paint of purple with white, and I'll just mix up three different tones of it. Or values, I should say. Proper language, values. Okay, so I do have three different values of purple here, and I'm going to start with my dark and just start to, I already had some darks in there. I'm just going to block them in a little bit more. Should get my picture out too. I forgot. I did have a photo that I was going from, but oops. If you're ever looking for good photos of animals too, there is a Facebook group that is free reference photos for artists. I think it's called Free Reference Photos for Artists is what it's called. And I think there's a couple of them, but there's lots of photos on there that you can find and use those as your reference rather than, any copyright issues. You don't want that. Oops. So wherever the deep shadows are, I put my purples, my dark purple in. So this solstice is a really great time to, we've done a lot of, like in the last couple days, like from the 12th, we've talked about like healing. And if you've followed my meditations, there's been a lot of like integrations and downloads, a lot of healing energy. And once you feel you're ready, it's a really good time to start to plant the seeds, right? That's as the new year approaches, it's like, well, what seeds am I going to plant for the new year? And but first the healing, the integration, the wisdom that you've gained from this past year. And then once you've done that, then start to go, okay, so now that I know where I'm coming from and what I've learned and where I am, where am I going? How am I going to create in the next year? What am I going to create? Okay, so got some dark in. So now I'm going to just switch to the light and put some highlights in. So anywhere that I feel like the light would be reflecting and bright, I could throw some of this in. Oops, wrong color. Now I'm going to do a brown bear, even though he's purple right now, but I can do the tonal paintings and then I can glaze brown over top. And the layers, that's a trick with, especially with acrylics as opposed to oils. The layers really add richness to the painting. The colors play with each other and make a big difference. So I just throw in where pretty much where you know, the lighter parts would be. And then I'm going to put some of that medium color in. And quite honestly, I could be using a bigger brush right now. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the medium, see if I got the right color here. We'll see. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm going to show you guys too. I just found a new way of doing the eyes. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you that. Hey, no, get it in there. You got some in your mouth? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my dog's in here chewing on paper towels. Okay. Okay, I think I am gonna I am going to do my girl the same in the same way because keep it simple. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of shadow. But I am gonna keep her hair lighter, make her blonde. How you guys doing? Okay, so um purple is always just my go-to color for doing tonals. But you could also do blues, um, sepia tones, like whatever you want as your foundation. You know, the old masters, some of them did like blue, especially for actually one actually it was a beautiful, I don't know, I can't remember who the artist was, but it was a beautiful portrait of a woman in this gorgeous blue dress. No, yellow dress, sorry. Um, but the undertone was all done in blues, and then the dress was glazed over top with the yellows. And so once you have all the shadows in, the lights and darks, if you apply a light glaze over it, all the lights and darks stay there, but everything takes on a different color. So you can do that for skin too then. Oops, not getting her eyebrow. But I'm not going to do that. I have some yellows on my palette, so I'm going to do her hair in yellows and golds. So this is just some cad yellow medium and white, just so you know. Okay, time for a bigger brush. So while I'm painting her hair, I'm going to tell you about a little more about the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic course. It is, as I said, a 9-month program. It's beginning January 11th. And we have a group started already. People have joined in. I'm pretty excited to get going with them. Some of them I think are here. And it is all about deepening into your soul and becoming the soulfully aligned mystic. So the soulfully aligned mystic is the one part, like she walks a soulfully led life. Everything she does, she's attuned to her heart and her soul, and is spreading that light around the world. And so it really is, the first part is a personal soul journey. It's going deeper into your soul. It's communicating, it's deepening that connection with your soul, creating the space for a soulfully aligned life. All the different ways to do that. No more feeling like worried about what other people are thinking, because you have the answers from within. And that's what the journey is. It's like a love story with yourself. So getting to aligned with your higher wisdom and the part of you that knows all the answers, because we all have the answers within us. And it's just knowing how to access those answers whenever you need, and then trusting them when you receive them. So that's the soulfully aligned journey, the soulfully aligned you journey, that part. And then in about the second month or so, we start to really talk a lot about your psychic gifts, your soul gifts, because as you open up to your soul more and more, two things happen. One is you actually get more creative, which is why we keep that portal open through our creative workshops and creative activities. And then the second thing is your intuition begins to grow. You become more intuitive, and it shows up in so many different ways for different people. And so it's really good to be walking with someone at that time, to talk to them and go, okay, this just happened. Is that normal? Right? Because I'm not sure what's going on, right? And so then we talk about all the different ways that your intuition grows and what's developing for you. And it's so cool to watch, because some people, it's, they start to hear messages, and some people, they start to draw or paint, and all of a sudden, and there was one woman that every time she started to do drawings or painting, faces came up in the images, like really clearly. And so it was a really cool experience for her to learn how to connect to that, find out who they were, and like hone that skill, right? And so some people, it's like, oh my gosh, my dreams are getting really strong, or I'm channeling through my writing, and these messages are coming through every time I sit down to write. And so I can show you and walk you through how to develop that, not be afraid of it, but just embrace it and allow it to continue to grow, and overcome the fears that are there around doing that. There's nothing to fear. It's all beautiful and sacred when it's coming from your soul. And I also teach you how to create a sacred space that, techniques to use so that you do feel safe, and you're not just calling in any old energy. You're connecting with the energy that is for your highest truth. And so that's the creative mystic portion, learning how to channel for yourself and then learning how to channel for other people. And then we go into, well, okay, now that I've got these gifts and I'm walking at such a deeper level with my soul, what do I do with all this, right? And a lot of people want to bring it into the world and monetize it and, grow from it. So that is the next couple modules. So the next module is the Mystic Business, and it's all about the energetic foundation of creating your business. It's very much energy and vibration that we work on. There's also left brain stuff like, well, how do I do it? Social media stuff and how to use it and work with it. But it really is very, very first part is that energetic foundation. Getting that set first, making sure you are aligned with that heart, soul, passion, business, and setting it up there. So that's goes for now I can't remember how many. I think a couple months, 2 months, 8 weeks or something like that. So through the whole thing, the programs are woven together. Through the whole 9 months, the Soulfully Aligned You journey is happening every month. And then we weave in there the creative mystic, and then we do the creative business or the mystic business. And then it's about the soulfully magnetic entrepreneur. So it's like, okay, now that we are kind of forming our idea of what we want to do, it's like, how do I attract the people? So the energy around selling, around being the businesswoman, around attracting the people, your ideal clients. And then we end off with, of course, the money mindset. So that's super important because you need to be making money. That's the bottom line. And you get the, sorry, I'm just looking for a color here. You get the creative mystic modules in order for you to go out and teach it. So I set you up so that you actually already have a business if you want it to go and start teaching and attracting your own clients. And you get the certification, a logo with your initials in the middle. You get the certificate saying that you are a creative mystic, a certified soulfully aligned creative mystic. And yeah, I help you get up and get going with it. So it's a lot of fun, but it's very cool because over the 9 months, there's a lot of people that come in and go, I'm not sure about the business part, but I really want to do the soul journey and the creative mystic part. And they come anyways to all of the business parts because it's all about energy and it's relevant in many different ways in our lives. And then, by the 5th month, they're kind of going, I can see how this might be unfolding for me. And it gets clearer and clearer as we go along. So it's a beautiful journey. It's very in-depth. There's $500 off the program right now till December 31st. And I think next week I'm going to set up some information calls. So that will be coming out in an email. Let me grab my. Okay. So now I'm bringing in my burnt umber and my raw sienna for my bear. And grab some more cad yellow. Okay. Oh, this darn camera is glitching. I don't know why it does that. So I'm going to paint his eyes just with I'm just putting down a brown just as a coat of paint, because here's what I did with my giraffe and it turned out so cool. I love it. Put some paint down and then take some gold leaf. This would work really good if I had some fresh new gold leaf. I don't. And put it there in his eyes. I just have flakes left here, so I'm just using some flakes of gold. That's too big. And cover his whole eyeball with this gold. And the gold kind of sticks where the paint is. So I'm going to do that to both his eyeballs right now. Okay, I'm going to just let that dry. This is, I watched an artist do this on Instagram, and darn, I didn't save the Instagram video, so I can't even credit the artist. It's not my invention. All right. I'm gonna take some of my, and now I'm got yellow on my, so what I'm doing is I've got brown raw umber and I'm just glazing over, like with raw umber and glaze, going over my dark purple. Anywhere I had dark purple. So you guys, I won't finish this tonight. There's so many layers to this that I do, but every layer is like on top is glazed. So, and you can add a little burnt sienna in if you want to change the color tone of the bear. You can actually glaze the whole bear. just just with the raw umber if you want. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, Jack, quiet. Shh. Okay. Now I have my bear in there, kind of. And then I would go back in and the more layers you put on, the softer it looks, and you get to keep playing with them. Let me just show you how we would do her face. So, and then I'll finish his eyes, and then I'll show you quickly how to do the outside a little bit more. So let me just check my glazes. I just mixed up a little bit of quinacridone, magenta, some cad yellow medium, and white to make like a soft peachy tone. So you can darken that definitely by, you can even use yellow and purple to get beautiful gold tones for skin, or you could add in a little bit of blue to deepen it. So just depending on the skin tone that you want. So this would just be the first layer that I would do, because I would do a couple layers, but then I'm just glazing over top of that purple with this. And I'll probably do another glaze with some blue, probably, to tone this a bit more, or sepia. Every time I do a face, I do it differently, so I don't really have a system yet. And then of course you have to go back over the eyelashes and eyebrows, but if you keep your glazes thin enough and you've done your tonal painting underneath, the shadows come through, even just doing one glaze tone all the way over it, and you still get skin tones. Now she's still looking too purple for me, but I would just do another layer here after. She looks sickly gray. Need to let that dry a bit. Okay, so now for his eye, I'm going to take black and outline it. And then right over top of the gold, I'm going to paint his pupil. Leave a little bit of gold there. Oops. Bigger. And I'm going to use a bit of burnt sienna for his going around his iris. And that gold is still coming off. And you can leave little flecks of the gold showing. But I'll show you the giraffe. So, whoops, this is how I did the giraffe size. So it's got the gold flecks there. Even sparkles a little bit. And I did just a little bit of cad yellow over it, but left some of that gold there. And it just catches the light and makes the eyes shine and shimmer. But I have to fix them up a little bit. Now I'm gonna quickly, before we run out of time, to show you how I do some of the layering in the background. So I put a layer of purple on in here. And what I'll do is, like, I keep going back and forth and playing until it's all soft and blended in. But I'm going to use some phthalo blue. Find my phthalo blue. So again, mixing a glaze with phthalo blue in my trays here. And I'm going to also do phthalo green. So first I'm going to throw some phthalo blue on. You can totally jump around your painting, waiting for parts to dry and playing with the background. how actually when I do the glaze, this is kind of cool for trees too. When I do the glaze of phthalo blue and it hits her yellow hair, it turns her hair green, right? So let's keep that in mind. So just layering these glazes really brings that glow in. And I'm not done her hair. I would come back also in her hair. But, and I want my bear to blend in to my background. So I'm going to bring this glaze up into the bear a little bit. So these glazes are amazing for even adding like shadows into her hair and into the bear. If you notice that this, I don't know if you can see, but this blue glaze over top of the yellow is green now. And so when you do a glaze of, let's say, purple at the end over top of the areas that you want to have more of a shadow from maybe her head shadowing down on this side of the bear. If I do a really light glaze of purple over top of all my browns, it just changes all their colors, brings in a whole other dimension of color. Okay, so then you can also add in a little bit of a phthalo green glaze if you want. Gives another dimension of color into the background. So this is nowhere near done. I actually probably spend a whole day on this as I did the giraffe, right? And adding in more layers and highlights and glazes and just having fun with it. Her skin color needs a lot of work yet. She still looks a little on the gray side, and definitely the bear, he's still very roughed in, so I would still be going in with some colors and fur marks and all sorts of things. So I just want you to know that you can't really get a painting like this done in 2 hours. I mean, some people maybe could, but I can't. But it gets you going, gets the foundation in. Good. And it's actually really nice when you really just let this paint set and come back to it the next day. It's really nice to paint on and add more glares. Glazes in layers. It starts to take on more dimension. Almost forgot her arm down there. All right. So keep working on it. I am gonna play with this over the holidays. And also, there's still a couple spots left in Reclaim Your Radiance, a new program that's coming out on an app for you. So if that interests you, please reach out. I am going to stop the recording here. Once I get this finished, I'm going to post it in with the recording too. But I'm going to keep working on this for a while. So thank you for coming. I am totally, oh, I see something in the chat here. Oh, Holly, it's been amazing. Still a work in progress. Okay, she has to go. Starting solstice fire. Perfect. I love it. Oh, look at this. Look at these bears. Oh my gosh, Katie, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording, but you guys can hang on here. So thank you if you're watching the recording, and I love you. Thanks for doing this. And please share your bears in Soulfully Aligned Women, or email them to me. And I will see you at the next